We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Real quick sprints, take the disc briskly, sunshine glints off my frisbee crisply, knows how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got both of the pivots and all of the throws. Got to hold the disc and move it at the right time. When you flick your wrist and you're feeling sublime, compose your throws, not discuss fluttery, tricks from the brick and your biscuits buttery. Feel the spirit, stretch every sinew, stream, encourage, yeah, we continue. Take my hand, yeah, come with me, from the disc to the sand, to the beach, to the sea. There's magic in the air. All you have to do is catch it. EBUCC 2022.
Welcome back to Praia da Rocha, Portimão, Portugal. Final game of the day at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships, and we are back in the mixed division for Tchac from Portimão in France up against BeeFire from Torino in Italy. Glorious day continues, still a bit of wind whipping across the sand here. Nothing too fierce or too strong or too disruptive, however. Still yet to see a cloud, and you've got the best seat in the house for what is sure to be an absolute cracker of a game. It is Benji Rees in the booth for the last time today, and who else beside me but the one and only Hannah Pendlebury.
Indeed, Benji. And whilst we might not have any bees in the booth, we do have two wasps that have appeared.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Perhaps in support of the Italians. I'm just going to move your rather nice glass full of slightly beery liquid.
It's not full of anything now.
No. It's just got that little edge of excitement for the wasps. So I'm going to put that well behind us, see if it can trap them over there. But we'll see if the French can trap the Italians out here on the sand. Probably BeeFire expected to top this mixed division pool. Both teams, of course, coming off of 3 wins each. But having played some perhaps softer opposition to get themselves to this, well, I say get themselves, this is just pool play stages. But we're expecting a good matchup between these two. Tchac are coming out together as more of a friends team. They've got a lot of international experience, lots of talent, but this is just an opportunity for them to come and enjoy playing together out here on the sand, whereas perhaps BeeFire taking the things a touch more seriously. There's a lot of glitter going on the French side of things, but Coach Andrea was giving me a little bit of info about how they've managed to sort of change their mentality, having played against, as I say, those slightly less capable teams earlier on in the pool stages, and now how they're adjusting to come out here and play together as a team. and show us what the Italians can achieve in the mixed division, because of course we're much more used to seeing them in open and women's.
So they do have a couple of shared opposition. They've both played Enzonis Rostock of Germany, where BeeFire won 13-3, whereas Tchac won 13-5. They've also both placed LUC of Portugal, where BeeFire won a much tighter game, actually, 12-7. Tchac blew them out of the water, 13-1. First game of the day, back at 8:45 this morning.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see how these two teams come out.
So the French starting on offense. There seems to be a stoppage for a pick downfield. Just going to send that back.
Indeed, but...
Nice slow starts to the game.
Indeed, and we are getting to see, I don't know if the cameras will pick it up, but the glittery faces of Tchac are looking dazzling this late afternoon Portuguese sun. They want to be one of the most stylish teams out here on the sand.
So eventually we'll get the disc checked back in. Langlois.
Oh, what a low break backhand that was.
Dalal. High stall, getting it off, layout, but still securing possession there is Langlois. Trying to squeeze that through the center of the pitch, not on that occasion. Picked off by the Italians. Into the center, there's two players there. Cipriani makes the catch, dumping it off, and now shooting into the end zone, laying out for the score. It's a BeeFire break on the game's first point. Lara Conali with the score.
Yeah, a nice break for the Italians. They're going to take the first point in this game. And funny to see that near friendly fire, but Langlois, the lefty, who had such a sensational low backhand release, that one just seemed to be a bit dialed in.
And then just see getting a little bit of blade on that, requiring the layout from Conali, but more than equal to it. Of course, gender ratio rule A being used at these championships. So after that first point, we're switching from 3 female to 3 male matching players.
Indeed, much nicer rhythm playing in this mixed division with the ABBA rule, or ABBA rule as it's fondly known. And also the prescribed pulling rule, which was implemented at the European level pretty much as soon as it was announced.
A little bit of spacing problems there, but able to find that one through to Brazor. Downfield, Sullivan Roblet. Just puts that one out into space. Elise Becker runs it down. Swinging to Brazor. Brazor shooting down the sideline. They got Roblet isolated in that space, and they hit him with that blade for one apiece. Roblet, one of the players who represented France out at the World Games in, I was going to say Birmingham, it doesn't quite sound right, Birmingham, Alabama.
That's quite a convincing American accent you have there, Benji.
I don't think it is.
Have you been working on it ahead of perhaps a gig you've got to do shortly?
No, not at all. I'm here all week and I'm loving it. We've got, as well as EBUCC this weekend, a couple of days off and then straight into the World Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Again here on the sands of Portimão.
Indeed, and what a delight it will be. The weather looks like it might be turning a bit more grizzly.
Don't say that.
Well, I'd say we'll be out there every morning doing plenty of sun salutes to make sure we keep the fair conditions here in Portimão.
That pull will pin BeeFire deep at the back of their own end zone. What will the Italians do? That one all just past the bidding defender, but that's left someone free downfield. If they can find it, they can. Resetting off to Stefanelli. Here on the sideline, I don't know if Brunelli was able to toe that in, and he was not. That'll be the first turnover for BeeFire's O-line. Opportunity for Tchac to bring us back on serve.
Well, way to squeeze it, and a lack of focus, giving the easy turnover. Faye.
Yeah, struggling to find options, so just chooses to jack it on a high stall. Bit of a hospital pass, this one towards the back corner. He made the catch, but I don't know if Dalal was in bounds. I did not really get a good angle on it.
No, but I tell you what, rising out of the sand like some kind of mythical, legendary monster.
BeeFire players on the sideline seem to think it was out.
It could easily come back, definitely a contested one. But let's see if our camera on the sideline got a decent look through the pack of players. Oh, we got finnied real hard.
Yep, we did. We 100% did. You could see Fuentes trying to have a look through the replay screen to see, well, I don't think they know this, but they're not going to be able to see a whole lot.
Perhaps a freeze frame there. Ooh, it's so difficult to tell whose foot is whose with the extremely close mark.
My instinct is I think he's out, and certainly the players on the pitch seem to agree.
Well, it was a high stall, just chuck it and pray to the gods of Ultimate.
Posse. Infield, Brunelli shoots that way, way deep, and there's no one even in the same postcode, or the Portuguese equivalent.
Just as long as you don't call it a zip code in that fetching American accent, Benji.
Certainly not. Even if that disc was really zipped deep.
Hey.
Faye picks up. First pass is the swing to Abita. Little inside pass there. Sora. Now Chatra. Downfield. Chatra gets it again. Looking for options. There's a little bit of an inside seam there. Instead choosing to take the reset back into the hands of Laurent Faye, one of the Tchac contingent who's represented stateside with the Montreal Royale. That is a brilliant layout, but couldn't get the disc to stick in there. So close for Colleen Chartrand.
Yeah, Marco Dalal putting a little bit too much on that lefty around break. And once more, the Italians go to pick it up. And this is what we were expecting. Two hotly matched teams contesting it out here on the sand.
Brunelli looking for that inside break. Had a couple of dicey moments at this point. Now there's the deep look. They've got Stefanelli isolated deep, and a sumptuous score there for BeeFire, thanks to Simona Stefanelli. Wow.
Now that was a disc posited in just the range of Stefanelli. Absolutely nobody else was in range and able to make a play on it. It reminiscent a little bit, Benji, although a much flatter and floatier shape, which is what you need on beach, of the sort of a Japanese style of just throwing to the very edge of the player's ability to catch it. As we see another look at that turnover for Tchac. Great effort from Chartrain.
See it again on the replay from the low angle. That is some catch. Captured, of course, in perfect contrast by our excellent ULTI.TV camera crew.
A lovely release. And a player still on the pitch for BeeFire as that pull went up. Just want to point that out.
It's the if you want a bit of entertainment and you're here on the pitches, just watch Andrea Pagano on the sidelines when he's not playing for BeeFire. He's always involved in the action somehow.
He just wants to be part of it. He's like a small spaniel. something happens in another part of the house. You hear the bump as he falls off the bed.
Debin can't correct on that reset to Aurora Langlois. And now an opportunity for another break here for BeeFire. They broke on the game's first point, so we give them a little bit of a cushion to work with. Cipriani resetting into the backfield. Here's Ceccaroni. That one too far. Axel Roger will... No, he won't. Oh, maybe that is not... I'm just trying to get... We don't have the 46 on the roster, so I'm trying to dig into who that is.
Well, perhaps we can find out, but that is going to be tipped away by the defence for sure.
He just floated and allowed the defender there to cover, although I'm not sure that he needed to get there in the end anyway.
Just a bit of discussion as to where the disc needs to start from.
Back in play now, Galante going into the backfield. It's a bit of slow progress, this possession here for BeeFire, still in their own end zone. That is a bladey throw, it's a little bit behind. There was a pick, but they're going to retract it to let the turnover stand. Axel Roger into the end zone. Finds Thibaut Brazo. He's got an assist and now he's got a score as well to make it 2 each. Not the cleanest of holds there for Tchac, but counts all the same.
Absolutely. But this is just a tough grind between these two teams. They're clearly finding their feet. Both able to apply lots of pressure on defense. And one of the keys for BeeFire is, of course, locking out Roger.
Both of them.
Indeed. Either or. They're both pretty dynamic.
It's a tough ask, but one that I think a challenge that you've got to relish if you really want to take it on. A shorter pull, that one. Quentin Roger, crash, but it's on the mark. Brunelli. Looking underneath, finds Luca Valentini. Valentini putting air underneath it. Oh, there is a pick. The throw was right on the money to Sudana Fuentes, the Colombian, who is a real weapon for them. Obviously based in Turin now, as are the majority of BeeFire. Silver medalists in the mixed division, mixed masters division at EBUCC in Wrocław, Poland earlier this year. And represented well at the World Masters Championships in Limerick as well.
Indeed, it is a delight to see Italian mixed ultimate on the rise.
Yeah, traditionally more of a focus has been on the single gender division in Italy. Resetting there to Brunelli. Brunelli's putting air underneath it. He's isolated Valentini and he gets it past the bidding defender into the end zone for the score. Nothing Roble could do. 3-2.
I just had a curious thought, Benji. We refer to open and women's as single gender divisions, but technically speaking,
open is not single gender, correct?
Every possible gender.
True, that is true. One of the great things, I think, is that it is not the men's division, it is very much the open division.
Indeed. Although I've seen some sneaky M's in some of the schedule planning, it is indeed in bold on the website, nicely seen as open. Of course, allowing players of any identity to have a space that's not marked out for anybody. And, I feel like male matching players can handle that.
So, 23 teams in the mixed division, 1 pool of 5 and 3 pools of 6. If you finish top of your pool, you qualify straight to the quarterfinals. If you finish second in one pool, if you finish second, you will have to face a third place team in a different pool. And likewise, if you finish third, you can still make the top 8, but you have to beat a team that finished second in a different pool.
It's nice to see the crossover format, talking about European Masters, which obviously BeeFire did fantastically well at. At World Masters, there was no crossover. If you ended up in a pool of death, just tough luck.
That one floated to the backside of the end zone. Naomi Price-Lazarus with the layout for the score. 3 each.
Yeah, the Seattleite originally, and currently back home, but coming across and joining this French side. And having actually silver medalist of the European Championships in 2019 with the French mixed team.
What a tournament and what a final that was.
Oh, I don't think any of us will forget Gier 2019 in a hurry, even though we try really hard.
Yeah, based in Seattle, but played their college ultimate actually in Minnesota for Carleton, and that is Syzygy, I think. They've got two. They've got Syzygy and Eclipse. One does the D1 route and one does D3, and I cannot remember which one's which.
I think Syzygy is the D1 team.
I think that's right as well. Also, excellent word, Syzygy.
Absolutely.
Don't get to use that often enough. That pull, oh, what a pull. Just lands stone dead at the back of the end zone. Not the first time. BeeFire have had to go pretty much 60 metres just to get to the end zone line. 45 metres long is the central zone with 15-metre end zones, and that one, Brunelli's been a little bit hit and miss. And that one is a bit too far out in front, despite the layout. Fuentes unable to reel it in, so opportunity for Tchac to bring this game back on serve.
Yeah, Fuentes originally from Medellin in Colombia, of course, a pretty well
ultimate city.
Yeah, a little bit.
Roger, they've got so much space on that break side, and all that needs to happen is for the mark to be broken, and it's floated into the space, and Sullivan Roble might not get too many easier goals this tournament. We're back on serve at 4-3.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious as to what the plan was there on defense. As you say, just moving that stack across towards the near side of the pitch, you're really putting so much on the shoulders of the mark. And I mean, Nicola Possi does have quite large shoulders. He's quite a big chap, but I don't think he can carry that much weight just by himself. But it's good to see him outside. It says he plays quite a lot of Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, both classic games.
I mean, they are, not that I've played them.
It's the Venn diagrams of people who like Ultimate Frisbee, people who like climbing, people who like board games, and people who like gaming. There's a strong overlap in many of those on the Venn diagram.
That is very true. So Brunelli picks it up and walks to the brick mark, and we're checked in. Quentin Roger tries to put on the mark as Brunelli roasts it deep, and that is a reaching snag made by Luca Valentini for the score. One pass ultimate, but if it works, why the hell not?
Absolutely, and just continuing this trading out after that first break for BeeFire early doors. And this is delivering exactly what we expected, Benji. A really close tussle between two very athletic, very well-seasoned teams. But, of course, these two teams haven't really played each other very much. Tchac had a very, actually, no, I was going to say they had a very unfortunate time at World Masters, but I'm not sure they were there. I think I'm getting my French teams mixed up, but PUC definitely had a difficult pool to try and advance out of.
Yeah, I think PUC, after finishing as champions, maybe feel like they've maybe underperformed at World Masters.
I think that would probably be a fair thing to say. But yeah, the Italians coming out well here. They see these two teams haven't played each other very much, really, and so it's kind of a bit of mysterious as to trying to figure each other out in the early stages of this game, which we very much still are. About just under half expired so far, and another fantastic pull, Benji.
Yeah, this time it's coming out of the hands of BeeFire. Abita wants to break around. Oh, miscommunication. Cipriani comes steaming through. Andrea Pagano going towards the far sideline. Might get it back here from Ceccaroni. He's looking at the end zone, and it's just a little pop in there. Bookends for Federica Cipriani, and that is a break. And BeeFire, no sooner have they surrendered the break to let Tchac get back on serve, pinch it right back, and are on top again.
Well, the zone did exactly what it was intended to do. confusing the space on the near side of the disc. There was a hesitation early stages in that point for Tchac, where there was a very available target on the near side of the field, sort of, you know, just deep into the space, but the hesitation from the thrower allowed the zone to set up the trap as we get another look at that tasty piece of end zone offense from BeeFire. But Cipriani making hay while the sun shineth.
To be fair, they've got a lot of time to do that because the sun is very much shining out here. You can see some players and fans just taking it all in on the far sideline.
And enjoying the rays. Of course, we are outside of the Bernie window between 11 AM and 2 PM.
I've still got my sun hoodie on regardless. I do not really do well in the sun.
We both.
Oh, Axel Roger getting cheeky, going for the scuba over the top. Roble is wringing out his hand.
Well, that was a fantastic defensive play, but shame to see a little bit of contact just on the paw. I think there was good to avoid the body block.
He really scoops this one up in the air. And they're going to get some players over as just for a little bit of translation. Looks like Price Lazarus for Tchac and Simona Stefanelli for BeeFire.
I mean, we love to see the cheeky scuba over the top. I think the call was just contact on the hand. It did look like a decent block to me. But let's watch that in a frame by frame. If only you had the slow-mo audio as well. That would be fantastic.
So no game advisors or observers here. Players have to sort out discussions and come to resolutions themselves. Bula very big on self-officiation. It's part of the process of registering for this tournament. Players have to have completed the WFDF basic rules knowledge quiz, and half of your team has to have advanced rules accreditation.
Well, it's an open book exam, Benji, so I think the process of doing advanced accreditation is well worth it, because you do get a couple of goes if you need it, and it also refers to the exact section of the rules. So I'm not saying necessarily.
I think it's a good thing that players should do anyway, regardless of whether it's required or not.
Exactly. I'm not going to say it's too easy, but it's if you take it with a modicum of seriousness, it's pretty easy.
Roble, oh, he's going to blade that one right to the back corner. That is precision throwing to Thibaut Brazor. It's 5 apiece. I thought he was going to go with the hammer there, but went with the blade instead.
I mean, I love it. The accuracy of that throw cannot be bettered. Although just sealed off a little bit with the catch and fall at the end.
Have a look at it on the replay. From the low angle, Bagano is trying to make himself as big as possible on the force, but Roble steps out and wrenches the flick to that back corner. And Brazor keeps himself in bounds, good presence of mind. And that'll be 5 each. Valentini. Got a player coming over from the far sideline. Posse, instantly recognizable in those sunglasses. The lefty faking deep, squeezing that one through to Brunelli as a reset. Underneath, it's Fantinato. Fantinato, you see his Posse going up line. There's a little bit of separation, but he doesn't like the deep look on this occasion. Valentini's going to try and take off the lead throw into space. Hits Valentini in stride. 2-on-2 in the end zone. And the players cross over each other. Stefanelli comes free to the open side for a 6-5 lead.
And you can see on the faces of the Tchac players as the sun starts to set towards, well, towards the east where it sets. So west even, good Lord, Hannah. But they are very disappointed to see that one slip away from them. At the moment, all of the momentum is in the hands of BeeFire.
You can see there, just gets the eyes nice and early, blades that behind the back of Quentin Roger. And then the continuation into the end zone for the score. 6-5 BeeFire lead. We'll have half at 7. So for Tchac, your task is very clear because BeeFire will receive to begin the second half. You need to put your O in here and then see if you can break at Galaxy Point to get this game back on serve. Otherwise, BeeFire will open up a little bit of a margin in the game's first 2-point lead. Of course, BeeFire could just break straight here and get it now. Cipriani with the pull. Langlois. Thumbs off to Axel Roger. Back to Langlois. Now towards the far sideline. Player in space is Chartrain. Wants the reset off, does Langlois, but they're going to keep it on that far sideline. Now they've got a chance to open it up. Blading across the pitch, Pagano knows that he's beaten, and Delal makes the catch for 6-all, and we've got ourselves another Galaxy Point.
Galaxy Point. We'll have to work on our timing later. Practice, practice.
I mean, they always say that's the key to a good comedic partnership, don't they?
Accurate.
Timing. This one, however, is going to go back.
Intriguing. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy to see another.
Just do it again, in my opinion.
Yeah, that diss from Naomi Price-Lazarus was just divine.
On the money. Not sure what the call was.
Probably some kind of travel Benji. But
this time they're going to Langlois. She fakes it deep. That one, a wise holster though. Trying to squeeze that one down the sideline. Axel Roger, the dismissive over-the-top backhand, still finds Delal. He's going to get his goal one way or the other. Now that is Galaxy Point.
I'm a huge fan of that ascending, descending backhand toss, especially with the wind behind you. You've got to make sure you put just enough spin on it, otherwise it will end up being decidedly flobbly-wobbly.
Sorry, what? Flobbly wobbly?
Flobbly wobbly. You've seen discs when they've been sort of, you know, tipped.
Jiggle, jiggle.
Ugh. It flies. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Every time I think of jiggle, jiggle, it's I think of change in a pocket of a particularly portly individual.
Oh, no, I think of that scene for The Simpsons where they're trying to test how fat Homer is, and they do the jiggle test.
See, I was
and
not allowed to watch that.
And they just set you in motion and then you wait.
Perhaps I'll have to look that one up on YouTube later.
It's good, yeah. I highly recommend it. Going to get a little bit of a timeout here before Galaxy Point, so we'll take a quick breather and we'll be back with you very shortly.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Oh, just a
football!
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Welcome back to the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Final game of the day for us here on our streaming showcase field. Mixed division action, Tchac versus BeeFire. Galaxy Point, the Italians receiving. Brunelli catches the pull. Centers the first pass. Wanting the high release backhand, but coming towards the near sideline where Valentini has it and fakes that backhand. Plenty of space underneath here for Stefanelli. What will she find? Brunelli's going to continue muscle his way up line. Stall count rising. On a high stall, defender saw it late, and Fuentes can't bring it in.
Well, that nearly got very exciting, didn't it? But fantastic defensive pressure from Tchac. I think this is probably the best defense on match we've seen them play. But can they take advantage?
You can tell that the sun's setting behind us because the shadows are getting ever lower and lengthening across the pitch.
Create some weird cold spots on what's been such a baking hot surface all day long.
Price Lazarus swinging. Troble, the World Game standout, banging it deep for Delal. One-on-one, going towards the back of the end zone, and comes up trumps in the battle with Valentini. A nice slap of hands afterwards as well. Tchac, they get the break on Galaxy Point, and we're on serve going into the second half.
Well, I asked if they could make something of it, and what a just absolute delight that was to watch. Tell you what, heavy pressure from Luca Valentini. I think if that one hadn't been caught, there would maybe have been a foul call. But I tell you what, keeping hold of the disc, fantastic stuff. And as you say, Tchac put us just back on serve, you know, just back on the rhythm of the game. But deservedly so, and a beautiful one to finish us off. So, half-time, not a normal half-time. Yeah, you just pretty much carry on playing, although BeeFire are trying to take the opportunity to maybe get a bit of a mental reset, discuss a little bit of strategy out there, but there is no official break for half-time. Indeed. You do the end zone switch if you need to, maybe put the disc at the other end, but that's about it. Yeah, Coach Andrea in his very fetching Italia coaching shirt. Will be, of course, have lots of seasoned advice to give his team. O-line back out there for BeeFire, having just been broken on Galaxy Point. Quentin Roger, crash. Of course, familiar with the Italians, having played on a couple of occasions, including at this UCF for Cusbelafota. First pass underneath for BeeFire. Second half underway here, final half of the day from EBUCC. Brunelli puts deep. Valentini's trying to track it towards the near side. All five very nearly climbs the ladder. Couldn't quite get there, but Valentini picks himself up, dusts himself down, and floats that into the end zone for Fantinato, and it's 7 apiece. Yeah, that looked very good defensively until it didn't. Longoffe, not the largest athlete you'll come across in terms of height, and a fairly dense person to be playing on beach. The advantage, of course, being to the people that are all sinewy and leamy and can just use the leverage of their appendages. But heck, that's pretty good ups, considering that sand. Laura Fantinato, who caught the goal. Career highlight was getting that top 8 finish out in Limerick at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships. Love to say hello to her colleagues at home, Apo and Galeas, and they have black Labrador called Ozzy. Cute. Also, this is less important, been engaged to Nicola Possi for over a decade, but yeah. That's not important. No one cares about frisbee boyfriends and girlfriends. None of that nonsense. Although, to be fair, a decade. Good going. A very, very long engagement. You can tell there's a lot of pressure on all of these passes from BeeFire, but so far they haven't got home just yet. Axel Roger with the ninja-style headband, blading that one, full extension layout, but Delal comes up with the goods and into the end zone. Finds Brazo, who's stuffing the stat sheet for the French, and they're back in front 8-7. Another close contest here at EBUCC. You love to see it. We do. We certainly do. I mentioned that both of these sides won all of their first 3 games today coming into this contest. They will both have another pool game tomorrow. Currently sitting 3rd place in the pool coming into this game was KFUM Örebro. And if I can read the schedule properly, they should be playing right now. I'm just trying to find out where. Against LUC, a battle that will probably decide who ends up finishing 2nd in that pool. 2nd, 3rd in that pool, I should say, although
Örebro do have to face Tchac tomorrow morning. So if they could win that one, who knows? We could get some three-way tie shenanigans at the top of the pool.
Oh, we do love some three-way tie shenanigans. Schedule writers, less so, but we enjoy it.
As someone who has personally done some schedule writing this week, yeah, not my favourite occasion.
But of course, that's the excitement in this mixed division. Teams so well matched at the top, and it's a lovely run through break. Bit of a collision afterwards, so the foul's going to be called.
Melina Daba is the player trying to put the pressure on.
Indeed, a Yaka player. And an unnamed source amongst this team of friends.
An unnamed source.
Says that Melina Daban is the most cherished player amongst Tchac.
Interesting. I wonder, cherished. Interesting choice of word.
The miscongeniality, if you will, of Tchac. Because of course this is a team of friends who, it's their first time they're actually playing together as this particular combination of players on the international stage. They've played a couple of domestic events. But a contested foul.
Elsewhere in the mixed division, by the way, Goiota have already finished their 4th game today, so they are, 4 wins from 4. So it looks like they're going to be going into the quarterfinals.
Well, they look so good against peer pressure. Absolutely trounced them. But of course, when you live in Tenerife, beach is your surface.
Quite arid out there in the Canary Islands. Reset goes to Brunelli. Travel on that throw. They've spotted it relatively quickly this time. Another game to keep an eye on at the top of Pool D. 2 teams undefeated with 3 wins from 3. LDC from the Czech Republic and Barcelona Sharks. Last we heard, LDC were up. No, it's tied again at 8 apiece. That is tighter than you could ever imagine.
So why would you need to refresh the EBUCC live.ebucc.eu website when Benji Rees can just do it for you and bring you live stat updates?
I'm too good to use sometimes. But yes, live.ebucc.eu. You can follow live scores from all the games, have a look at what's going on at the tournament, the leading stat getters, and it also handy links to all of the where you can find the live schedule, but we've also put it all in a handy YouTube playlist for you. There's a deep put, a couple of players going to converge underneath it, and a bit of contact there called from Stefanelli.
Well, Melina Dabian is getting involved. Actually, no, I take that back. That's not Lena Dabian. That's Naomi Price Lazarus.
Actually, what I like there from the sideline is the BeeFire players saying, "Oh, we think that's clean enough."
Yeah.
And
good spirit.
And Stefanelli respecting her teammate's position and saying, "Okay, sorry, call retracted. Turnover stands."
Well, it's difficult when you're having a tussle against a well-matched opponent. And Daban is going to go absolutely off the races. A hesitation allows the defense to get there.
That is a heater from Quentin Roger. Would have been some catch were Daban able to stick it.
Yeah, no, Fantanato absolutely there, ready to knock it away.
Brunelli caught Roble off guard because I think he thought that this was going to be brought to the front of the end zone, and Brunelli saw that and just quickly got it into play.
Oh, he was waiting quite a while for his teammates to realise as well. An untraditional look, but if your team are ready for it, it can be devastating.
Yeah, just because it can catch the opposition very unawares. Stefanelli trying to thread that one through there on the end zone line, just about maybe a couple of yards out. Great opportunity to bring us level at 8. Still count rising. Oh, the cheek of that one. Getting it out there and whipping the flick towards the break side, where Stefanelli lays out to even the score at 8-8. This one is going all the way down to the wire.
Well, let's hope so. I'm enjoying the action. It's definitely mostly a case of the disc being taken away by the opposition rather than just straight up errors, which you saw more towards the midsection of today rather than the sort of early stage games where you'd more expect there to be, you know, teams just finding their chemistry, gelling together. But these two sides, of course, have thus far, frankly, sort of, you know, just rolled through their early pool games. It's all about these later stages, harder ones. which is always difficult when you're underseeded at a tournament, I feel, Benji. Those sort of, you know, oh, well, this is the first versus the fourth seed in the pool. It's probably not going to be an upset, so we're going to put it first thing on the first day in the morning of the tournament. Can see some pretty capable teams that haven't had a chance to just warm themselves up, see things slip through their fingers.
Tchac back on offense. About 5 minutes left before the cap comes on, a little bit under that. Becker into the backfield. Nice little give-go there, run with Fi. Slash and cut coming underneath from the far side of the field. Here's Abita. Wants the break, no. Goes back towards the open side. Faye looking for options, still rising, floating that one towards the break side. A dime of a pass into Elise Becker. That'll be 9-8.
So just sitting that nose ahead after the Italians were in charge of the first half. Tchac just continuing to hold on by the skin of their fingertips. It's a lovely inside low shot from Laurent Ferret.
I mean, you can see they really open up that far side of the field. I wonder if he's not actually trying to get the player at the front there, Sane, but in the end, whether she gets the call to leave it or just kind of has that awareness that Becker's behind her, it doesn't matter because it does end up in the end zone for Tchac.
Well, it's a nice space to hit, especially with that arcing curve towards the players themselves, but swinging away from the defenders. As I say, I think probably one of those ones that was indeed intended for the player more towards the disc. But hey, it worked. We're not going to question it.
Were we not questioning it just then?
No, as an option. We like the option.
Oh, you love the option.
It's just who it was for.
So that just lands in but rolls out the back, so Posse gets the chance to mark it, to bring it to the front of the end zone. Brunelli here, coming underneath. Pressure on the back shoulder from Robles. He's got the French tricolor, I think, painted on his cheeks in a very fetching sparkle. This one, look at the shape there from Valentini. It teases and draws Robles under the disc, but it does find the target. It is true to Niccolo Brunelli. 9-9 now, and I don't think it's too unfair to say that we're probably looking at, what, 10-9 going to 11, something like that?
I think that's a fair shout, Benji. It would have been nice to see this one go the full maximum 25 points, but I'm not mad. We've been treated to some delightful ultimate between these two very well-matched sides. And this has all been about who can throw the better inside flick breaks.
I love it. I'm here for it. I am here all day for it.
But let's see if either team can adjust and take that look away. It does expose you for the around break, which is much more valuable, especially on beach, where it just takes the work of but a moment to get yourself free on that break side.
You're almost, unless the defender is marking you on the break side for some reason, you essentially are free on the break side pretty much.
Yep, you'll see smart smart handlers not do anything dooky, just stay far enough away from the mark, and then when you're needed, when you're looked at or pointed at, just move the direction that the defender is not.
That was a really tough mark from Fuentes that Langlois got through well, and they zip that past the bidding defender. Can they get the give go off? Langlois into the backfield to Delal. You've seen him go deep quite a lot, but now he's got the disc in his hands, and he's blading it towards that far side where he hits Canton and Crash Roger. 10-9. Point was over so quickly. Cap's not even got on yet, I think.
Well, I tell you what, the lefty handlers of Tchac are giving quite the sort of sneaky advantage there. That was a really nice bladey flick. Just around the back, sneaking it, almost like a secret side entrance to a royal palace.
Ooh, fancy.
I've been to the Alcazar. Can you tell?
I could, yes. You can tell that the force, Ceccaroni just bites on that the backhand a little bit too much, gets on the floor, so gets up into position but isn't really putting enough pressure on, and that means that Delal can blade that to Roger relatively comfortably.
Well, Pagano getting involved by his stern face in camera, as we spoke about earlier, Benji, not far from the action.
Even when he's not on the field. That one, I think she thought about going for the pool, and it came in a little bit more awkwardly than she imagined. Maybe the sun got in her eyes a little bit, so she backs away. BeeFire in their own end zone.
Well, we have already seen a team come unstuck with a drop pool on the live stream fields here, but 2 games ago.
Valentini. Resetting to Brunelli. Brunelli back to Valentini. There's a deep look there if they want it. No, just resetting it. I think they are very conscious of maybe not throwing it away. Happy to grind it down and get to Universe. Valentini, this one put out into space, jumping it into the end zone is Stefanelli. That is 10-10, and I think that is now Universe game to 11. We'll just see if I can get that confirmed from the volunteers on the sideline. Shout out to our excellent scorekeepers. It is indeed Universe point here. 10-10, game to 11. No side has ever been more than 1 point up in this game. That is how tight it has been.
And no breaks whatsoever in this second half.
That is very true. Not only no breaks,
but most of them have been ridiculously clean.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple turnovers in there.
But a scant few.
Well, this is what we came here to see. A fantastically contested match between 2 elite level teams out here on the sand. And we're just going to get even better and better matches as the tournament goes on. Because, of course, this is just still pool play, Benji.
It is indeed. But given what we've seen from these sides and the pedigree that they have, it would not necessarily surprise me if we see them go deep into the bracket and maybe a rematch later on in the tournament.
Now that would be spicy and exciting.
And there's a lot of close games going on this round. LDC Barcelona Sharks is also tied at 10 apiece.
So I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a timeout, but certainly BeeFire, if it wasn't, not doing anything to respect the timings between points here.
You'd have to imagine that one was called there, right?
Well, I'm not sure anybody told Tchac if there was.
Or maybe Tchac just like, no, we know what we need to do. Let's get on with it. 2 male, 3 female matching players on this point. So female puller, and it will be Simona Stefanelli.
Do you think that advantages either team, Benji?
No. I'll be honest, I think they seem pretty evenly matched despite what the gender ratio is. Axel Roger catches the ball and finds Aurora Langlois. Nice little high release backhand down that far sideline. Finds Delal. Delal putting it deep, putting the air underneath it. Can Price Lazarus answer the call? No, it is tipped away by Stefanelli.
Yeah,
wow.
Price Lazarus has had quite a few battles on the sand with her Italian matchups, but that one a fair fight. Just, if anything, probably a bit too slow of a disc, allowed the pressure of Stefanelli to just build and build and build, but loving the matchup between those 2 athletes.
So Pagano picks up off the turn. First pass blades into the centre. And a continuation here to Valentini. Pagano's taking off deep, screams for it almost, but doesn't get it. Instead it's reset. Taking that high release backhand wide open underneath there. Surely Stefanelli gets it, and she does. Dumped back to Valentini. Nice underneath option created there. That one all just past the bidding Delal, trying to make amends for the throwaway. actually switched on there to try and get that poach block, and now they've continued that switch. Trying to pass it back off now, but they get it downfield, faking the backhand, resetting. Ooh, just about stuck in the grasp of Pagano. Did that luminous pink Euro disc. Still count riding. Pagano looking to blade towards the far side, where he finds Luca Valentini.
Well, after getting a bit too hasty, trying to just jack it deep, Tchac come unstuck, and it's BeeFire who take the win. I think probably well deserved, Benji. They were really sort of took hold of the game at early stages with that first break, and then immediately responding after Tchac leveled it up with 2 on the bounce. They just looked that little bit extra in the first half. Of course, congrats to Tchac for grinding it back, but I think probably not unhappy with that result.
Well, if we see these two teams match up again later in the tournament, I think I'd be brave to bet my money one way or the other, because it does seem that these two sides are so evenly matched, and it is a very fitting way to end day 1 here of EBUCC. There is that final turnover, the deep block there from Stefanelli,
who had a fantastic game. What a corker.
That one, you see Delal tries to get back into position. Pagano, I think, he picks up the match that he likes. You can see, give him the nod, fakes into the backfield. Delal bites and blades this to precision. Defender tries to come off, but there's no way they can get there in time. Valentini catches for the score and the win, 11-10 to BeeFire. And day 1 of EBUCC is done and dusted, and in the books here from Praia de Rocha, Portimão, Portugal. The action on the Algarve continues tomorrow morning. We're back at 8:45 in the morning. Hooray. I'm sure we're all thoroughly looking forward to that. All joking aside, I'm sure we've got more sensational action, and we begin tomorrow morning with more mixed division action, I believe. We do indeed. We will be streaming LUC versus Enzones Rostock, and we hope to see you back here for that. In the meantime, thank you so much for all of our ULTI.TV crew here on the ground in Portimão at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships, from all of the local organising committee as well, from Bula and all of the volunteers here. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to finally, after a 4-year absence, be back at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships. For all of our ULTI.TV crew and for Hannah Pendlebury, Benjamin Rees saying we'll see you on the other side.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTILeague.net.
CC Lyrical.
Vielen Dank. Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.